The Mahabharata is like a giant tree in the forest of Indian stories. It is one of the two major epics of India. The other epic is the Ramayana. The Mahabharata is a very long story. It is about a big war between two families. The families are the Pandavas and the Kauravas. They fought for a kingdom. The Mahabharata is not just about war. It also talks about family, duty, and right and wrong. The Mahabharata is important because it teaches us about life. It shows us how to be brave and kind. It also tells us about the consequences of our actions. The Mahabharata is a story for everyone. It is a story that has been told and retold for centuries. The Mahabharata is a story within a story. The story is told by a storyteller named Sauti. Sauti is a traveling bard. He travels from village to village. He tells stories to people. Sauti is very good at telling stories. He knows many stories. He tells them in a way that makes people listen. One day, Sauti was traveling through a forest. He was going to a place called Naimisha. He wanted to meet some wise men. These wise men were having a big meeting. This meeting was going to last for 12 years. Sauti wanted to learn from these wise men. He also wanted to share his stories with them. Naimisha was a special forest. It was a peaceful and quiet place. Many wise men lived there. They were called sages. The sages spent their time meditating. They wanted to understand the meaning of life. They also wanted to learn about God. Sauti walked for many days. Finally, he reached Naimisha. He saw the sages sitting together. They were listening to a story. Sauti was very happy to see them. He bowed down to them with respect. The sages welcomed Sauti. They offered him food and water. They asked him about his journey. The sages had come to Naimisha for a special reason. They were performing a long sacrifice. This sacrifice was going to last for 12 years. During this time, they would pray and meditate. They would also listen to sacred stories. The sages believed that listening to sacred stories was important. It helped them to understand God better. It also helped them to live better lives. They wanted to hear stories about heroes and gods. They wanted to learn from their examples. The sages had heard that Sauti knew many stories. They were eager to hear him speak. They were especially interested in the story of the Mahabharata. They knew that it was a story about a great war, but they also knew that it was a story about Dharma. Dharma is a difficult word to translate. It means duty, righteousness, and the right way to live. The sages believed that the Mahabharata could teach them about Dharma. They asked Sauti to tell them the story. Sauti was honored by the sages' request. He knew that the Mahabharata was a sacred story. He also knew that it was a very long story. It would take him many days to tell the whole story. But Sauti was a good storyteller. He was happy to share his knowledge with the sages. Sauti took a deep breath and began his tale. He started with the story of creation. He told them about the gods and goddesses. He told them about the creation of the world. He told them about the first humans. Section 8. A Tapestry of Tales. Exploring the themes of the Mahabharata. The Mahabharata is not just a story about a war. It is a story about many things. It is about love and hate, good and evil, right and wrong. It is about family and duty, dharma and karma. It is a story about the human condition. The Mahabharata is full of exciting stories. It has stories about heroes and villains, gods and goddesses, demons and monsters. It has stories about love and loss, victory and defeat. Section 9. A Legacy of Wisdom. The enduring impact of the Mahabharata. The sages listened attentively to Sauti's narration. They were amazed by the story. They learned many things from the Mahabharata. They learned about the importance of Dharma. They learned about the consequences of karma. They learned about the power of love and forgiveness. The Mahabharata is a timeless story. It has been told and retold for thousands of years. It is still relevant today. It teaches us about the human condition. It helps us to understand ourselves and the world around us. Section 10. Beyond the Battlefield. The Mahabharata's timeless relevance. The story of the Mahabharata is a reminder that life is not always easy. We all face challenges. We all make mistakes. But even in the darkest of times, there is always hope. We can always choose to do the right thing. We can always choose to be better people. The Mahabharata is more than just an ancient epic. It is a guidebook for life. It teaches us about the importance of family, duty, and righteousness. It shows us that even in the midst of conflict, there is always the possibility of redemption. The Mahabharata is a story that will stay with us long after we finish reading it.